Right, so what is going on? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In today's video, what we have is, well, as you know, I've recently been to York and I've been to the Railway Museum. So we have railway themed beers today. So we have the Mallard, the Rocket, and of course, the world's most famous train ever, the Flying Scotsman. Now, the price of these beers is £12. So, you know, if you go into any museum and they do alcohol, like a big gift set, it roughly will be £10 to £12. Obviously, you know, last time I did something like this was the Beatles beers, where one of them was out of date and the other two weren't. The other two were fine. But yeah, before I consume any alcohol today, I am going to check the dates. And of course, return of the Timmy Taylor's Landlord glass. They've got new Landlord glasses in the pub now, and I do like them. They do look really nice. Try and get my hands off on Eden and Sean if you're watching this. Birthday present, new Timmy Taylor's glass. But yeah, here we go. An old retro Timmy Taylor's glass. Made in 2022. Festival pint, it says on there. So if you want to know how a glass is made, there's a year, M, and then 22. Obviously 2022. So Timmy Taylor's Championship Beers. Establishment 1858, same age as Sheffield FC. Anyways, we're going to get into the beers now. Enough rambling, so we're going to open them. Here we go. So, here's the first one, Mallard Bitter Beer. I might try that one first. I do like bitter, to be fair. So that's the first tin. Is it in date? Let's have a look. Yep, best before January of 2027. Next, we have the Blonde, the Rocket Blonde. This goes out Jan 27 as well. So that's good, 2 in date. Flying Scotsman, better not let me down. And of course, the Pale Ale, the Flying Scotsman. They're all in date, so that's a good start, isn't it? You know, we don't want out-of-date beer. So, the brewing company is Harrogate, actually. Harrogate Brewing Company. Now, that's a beer that they do at the Yorkshire Harrogate Brewery Company, so, you know. Right, we're going to start with the bitter, because I want to start with the bitter, and bitter's nice, you know, first pint of the day. Recognised for its stylish, streamlined design by Sir Nigel Greasley, A4 class locomotive Mallard still holds the world speed record for a locomotive, 126 miles per hour, which was set on the 3rd of July 1938. So that is a little facts about a Mallard. Each can has a little briefing on, obviously, the train, the locomotive, whatever you want to call it. Right, here we go. Amber coloured best bitter with a full-bodied sweetness from dark crystal malts and a suitable spiciness from malted rye. Ingredients: barley, wheat, rye, hops, yeast. So that's what's in the beer. The allergies are barley, wheat and rye. So brewed in Harrogate, blah blah blah. It's suitable for vegans, you know, and obviously health and safety. Recommended 14 units per week. So there we go, 4.5%. We're going to crack it open. Oh, that's smelling nice. Anyways, I'm going to pour it into the old Landlord glass. Look at that, eh? That looks beautiful. Give it time to settle. Need more practice in pouring pints before I become a bartender. But yeah, give that time to settle. So, anyways, there's no bits floating around yet, so that is good. 440 ml, by the way, I forgot to say that. Right, now that this is dying down, let's pour the rest in. There we go. So these don't actually come in bottles, unlike the Beatles themed beers. I just always just noticed that they were bottles and these were cans. So that's one thing to pick up on. Right, anyways. You know what, give that a minute to settle. You know what, when you're in a dark and dingy pub and bitter's the only beer, this is what it reminds me of. I don't mind dark and dingy pubs, I do kind of like them. You know, that back in the day, that was a whole pub, weren't it? Dark and dingy pub, only bitter beer, you know. There weren't really many options for alcohol choices. So that's history of a pub, and that's what I kind of do like, you know, like in York you go to these old-fashioned pubs, and yeah, fair enough, you know. That's what pubs are about. Obviously, pubs these days, I do like all pubs, to be fair. So, you know, if I want to go to a dark and dingy pub, I will. If I want to go to a local, which is the Cemetery Hotel, then I will, because arguably that is one of the best pubs in England, Cemetery Hotel. And if I really want to go and hit the hijack and go to a fancy pub, then I will. I don't mind pubs, me. You know, the whole point of a pub is have a few drinks, socialise, you know, make new friends, which always happens when you go in a pub. It's just natural. Right, anyways, it's settled. Here we go. See what I can taste. Oh, it's smelling beautiful. As my mum says, tastes like rusty pennies. Nah, it actually doesn't taste like rusty pennies. But I can't really pick out a specific flavour. It's a unique one. I'll put it that. It is bitter. I can taste it now that it's going down a bit more. I couldn't at first when it first hit my palate, but the sweetness is there. The sweetness and the bitter are mixing now. And that's what you're looking for in a bitter beer, because that's what bitter beer is, essentially. You know, does look like a proper old granddad's pint though, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Look at that compared to my face. Proper granddad's beer, this. That's what the mallard looked like. In fact, it's on one of my railway books somewhere. Here it is. That's it there. Believe it or not, I knew it was on one of my railway books, front cover. Got many locomotives in here. Some from the golden ages, bit of history as well. So everything you need to know is in this book. But yeah, here we go. Mallard and mallard, eh? Let's get a close up on that. There we go. Anyways, I'm going to cut the camera here, drink the rest of this beer, watch something, and then I'll come back to you because I have these two left to do. So we'll have a look in a minute after I drank this lovely tin of bitter. But yeah, I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, so like I did before, in the last one I did with these beer reviews, I'm going to wash the glass out. And we're going to start on the Rocket Blonde next. So here we go. Last sip of the Mallard Bitter. Here we go. Give it a little swirl around, eh? Mix it up. Right, so how did I find out? You know, as a first pint of the day, it's actually alright. Normally I wouldn't go for a bitter first thing. It's more of a towards the end of the night drink, or midway through drinking, you know, lager, switch to bitter, you know, then go your pale ales and stuff like that. But I don't mind, you know, it's a beer, it's a good beer as well. Harrogate Brewing Company have got this one spot on. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. On to the next one, which is the Rocket Blonde. I'm going to wash the glass out and I'll come back to you. Right, okay, here we go. On to the Rocket Ballon now in a nice yellow tin, 3.9%. So the weakest out of the three beers that I've got here. And it says a little fact file about this train. I already know this, but I'm going to say it just on camera because, little secret about me, I do like my trains, I do like my railway heritage. As much as I don't post about it because it's all football food reviews, but I never really have time to, sit down and talk about railway heritage, which stations are shutting down, which locomotives are getting stuff to put in the museum, I don't have time to do all of that. I wish I did. There should be more hours in the day because I do have a lot of railway books and DVDs in the house somewhere. So here we go. Stevens Rocket won the Liverpool and Manchester Railways Rainhill Trails in 1829. So that's a long time ago. And yes, railways have been going for years on end since horse and carriage went out of the way. As soon as they went out of the way, the railway industry coming the way, and then the car industry coming the way, and push the railway industry to one side. We used to be one union as British Rail, not anymore because money and companies have all destroyed it. Combining features from other engines that become before it, the Rocket became the template for almost every steam locomotive that followed. So there you go. Right, here we go. Onto the interesting stuff. You're watching this for a beer review, not a railway talk. I could do, but, the title is reviewing beer, not reviewing the railway history. Right, classic English hop, create a crispy and fruity traditional blonde. Well-rounded bitterness with earthy notes. Okay, interesting. I'm having high hopes of this one. I probably shouldn't have shut the can then because it's going to go everywhere. Ingredients: water, barley, wheat, hops and yeast. Allergies are barley and wheat. Obviously, barley containing gluten as well. Gluten should be on there because without barley and gluten, you don't get a perfect barley seed. Right, okay, brewed in Harrogate. As you know, they're all brewed in Harrogate, so I don't need to say that. 440 millilitres, obviously, per can. There you go, that's what the Rocket looks like. Yes, that is in my railway book as well because it's history. It's a history book. So they'll all be in there. But I'm not flicking through every page just to find it. Obviously, the only reason why I showed you it last beer because the Mallard is the front cover of the train book. Did you also do a car book like that and a motorcycle book like that? So if you're interested in your motorcycles, do it. I got my dad the car book for Christmas, one Christmas, because he's deeply into his cars. Right, anyways, here we go. Let's crack it open, eh? This ain't going to go everywhere, is it? I don't want it to. Right, it hasn't. Anyways, nice clean glass, washed it out. Here we go. Oh, that's looking beautiful. Beautiful blonde, eh? Just like the women, beautiful and blonde. Here we go. Right, that's a perfect pint, that. That's going to settle in a minute. Give it time to settle. Right, so if you're around the York area or you're going to York, visit the Railway Museum. It's free of entry, but don't be like me and get trapped in that gift shop and end up spending 70 quid. Got Flying Scotsman poster, this, a few other things that I've actually picked up, obviously these beers as well. So yeah, I did pick up quite a lot, and obviously that railway bag, I don't know if you can see it behind me, that is also there. But yeah, quite a lot. Let's top that up. There we go. Look at that, beautiful blonde. Can't beat it, can you? That looks stunning. Look at that, all on top as well. I'm not going to tip the glass that much, but you can kind of see. No, you can't. I'm trying to get a good angle of it. There you go. All that froth just sitting on top, nice and perfect. So I'm trying to tip the glass in a good angle without it going all over the floor. But anyways, here we go. Let's see we get a fruity traditional blonde, which is what you want, which is what it says on the tin. So does it do what it says on the tin, or can, whatever you want to call it? Same thing, tin can, aluminium can, it's all the same thing. Here we go. Oh, that is nice. Wow. So the crispiness is there. The fruity sensation takes a little bit to get in, but it does get there eventually. You know what? Nah, that is. I think this has already won, and I've not even had the old pale ale Scotsman. I think this has already won. That is beautiful. My God. I can't. No, I actually do really like that beer. Right. Here we go. It's just the way it settles in your stomach. It's smooth going down as well. Right. Oh, that is actually beautiful. I might chug the entire thing. But I don't want to, because if it's a beer that I really like, which I do, I like to take my time. A beer that I do like, but I'm not really asked about, like, say you get me a Foster's compared to a San Miguel. San Miguel, I like to take my time. Foster's, I can take my time, but I can also neck it. Whereas San Miguel, I could do the same, but because I enjoy the taste and crispiness of a San Miguel, then therefore I will not neck it. I could do if someone would tell me to hurry up, you know, pub shutting, neck it, then yeah, fair enough, I would down it. But say I was with Tom and Aaron and people like that, I would not neck a San Miguel. I'd take my time, if you know what I mean. Right, enough about that. Here we go, eh? Down the hatch. Ah, it's nice. You know what? I wish it was summertime because I could actually sit outside and do it, but no, I can't because the weather is absolutely atrocious. You know, that's beer reviews I do. I could do them outside, actually. In fact, I've got a perfect idea. So my mate Tom has just bought a beer machine, right? From that Perfect Draft, 300 and odd quid. And the little small barrels of beer, 35 quid per barrel. So I could do it out of his beer machine. Do a little review. Yeah, I'll ask him tonight. I'm at the pub with him tonight anyway, so pardon me. That'll be something. But yeah, could do that. I mean, with these alcohol reviews, it's not just beer I want to do. I want to do wine, whiskey. I mean, I've got a bottle of Jack Daniels here, still left over. I mean, there ain't much in it because I've drank a lot of it. But here we go. Nice bit of JD. That's how much is left. You know what? See if it still smells in date. No, last 6 months. Well, we had it to. Oh, that's beautiful. The hit of the Tennessee whiskey. Let's have a sip. You can't beat it, can you? Whiskey, for me, has always been a winter's drink. It is a man's drink, but I prefer it in winter. You know, when it's freezing cold outside, freezing cold inside, your insides are freezing, your throat's freezing, your whole body's cold. Whiskey just warms it up though, doesn't it? Oh, lovely Jack. I love Jack Daniels. It's Jack Daniels and Jameson's. It's that's split between the whiskey though, isn't it? I mean, I think more of a chance that I do prefer Jack Daniels only because I know in Tennessee there is a Jack Daniels factory that you can go around and look around, whereas Jameson's you can't. And the way Jack Daniels is made as well. Proper stuff, this. Proper stuff. You know, Conor McGregor and his fake whiskey. You know, ain't really about that. About the real stuff. The old number 7 brand. Jack Daniels. Quality Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. It's 40% as well, in case you didn't know. Well, you can see, latest on the label. You know what? I should probably do a Jack Daniels whiskey review, but it needs to be a new bottle because I can't review it like that, can I? I will review it one day on the channel, but you know my thoughts on Jack Daniels already because I've just told you. But save that for another day, eh? Enough waffling, because that's all I've done for nearly 10 minutes is talk. But that's the idea of a YouTube video, though, innit? You know, you sit down in front of a camera, have a chit chat. You know, it's your audience, even though you can't see them. It goes out there and people are watching it. So, you know. Anyways, bombs up. Like, that whiskey taste is so good. Be there when taking next sip of this beer because I can feel it. I tell you what, if I was to rank alcoholic drinks in one order, it'd go beer first, whiskey second, wine third, cider fourth, gin fifth. Trying to think what other alcoholic drinks. Like, no. Liqueurs, so like Baileys and stuff like that, fifth. Like, you know, like your gin tonics. And vodka's shit. It really is shit. That can go seventh. You know, vodka is... just say it's like fizzy water. It's like sparkling water. How can anyone drink vodka? It's disgusting. Rather have beer, whiskey, wine, cider, all mixed together in one drink. You know what I mean? Fucking vodka. You know, whoever invented vodka needs their head testing because it's fizzy water. That's all it is. You're a real man's drink down you. Up the landlord to be tailors. There we go, eh? There we go. Can't beat it. Anyways, I'll get back to you once I finish this beer. And then we've got one more beer to do. That'll be it for the video, unfortunately, guys. Wish I could say longer chatting, but, you know, things do have to come to an end. Right, anyways, I'm going to chug this one out because I can't help it. I've been looking at it, thinking, do I take my time, do I not? I think, you know what, it's too nice. It'll settle nicely in my stomach. In about 3 hours, I'll piss it out anyway, so it don't really matter, does it? Anyways, here we go. Cheers. That is beautiful, eh? Right. The last one. The granddaddy, eh? The Flying Scotsman. Anyways, before we get into it, we've got to clean this glass out because it's an absolute shit tip. Right. We're on to the last one, eh? Hey up. Up. Bit of West Yorkshire coming out of there. Anyways, here we go. The Flying Scotsman Pale Ale. 4.4%. Brewed in Harrogate. Did I say brewed in Harrogate? Pretty sure I did. Right, anyways, all jokes aside. Of course, this is one of the world's most famous locomotives / trains. Flying Scotsman is world famous. Pause. Dun dun dun. Like you didn't already know. Its century in the limelight included the first steam locomotive to achieve an authentic speed of 100 miles per hour, and in Australia it's achieved the world's longest non-stop journey by a steam locomotive. There we go. The Demon, the big one, the world's most famous train ever to exist. There's probably more, in my opinion, than Mallard as well. But, anyways, enough about a Mallard. Right, in fact, hold on, I've not read this. Citrus American hops blended with traditional British malts. So that's the description of the beer, let's see, eh? Your ingredients: water, barley, wheat, hops and yeast. Your allergies, of course, barley and wheat. So is this suitable for a gluten-free person then? Because, well, it can't be, because barley has gluten in it. So it can't be, so gluten should be in the allergies. You know what I mean? Saying that, whole reason why I was speaking about it is because my uncle's gluten-free. So, you know, would he be able to drink this? The bitter, the blonde? Who knows? Or he does. I don't. I should do because I'm his nephew, but I don't. Anyways, here we go. Let's crack it open. Here we go. One last time in the old landlord glassy. Here we go. Just going to pour it nicely. Nice, smooth. That's just right onto my chair, that droplet of beer. There we go. Let it settle a bit. Right. So, what's yours alcoholic favourite drink? You gotta have one like beer, whiskey, wine, cider. A category of alcohol that you really love. I'm intrigued to know. Like, comment down below because I want to know. You know what I mean? Bit nosy, aren't I? But that's just me all over. There's only one of me. And there's only ever going to be one of me. Right, here we go. Last one pouring in. Here we go. Down the hatch. In a minute. Yeah, perfect. Oh. Christ above, eh? Right, ow, my knee. Squat my knee off the table. Anyway, bottoms up. Here we go, down the hatch. To be fair, my beer ranking goes lager first, blonde, bitter, stout, and then pale ale. I'm not really a fan of pale ale. I do like my stouts, you know, like my Murphy's and my Guinnesses. Bitter as well. Newcastle Brown Ale comes under the bitter category, doesn't it? Your blondes are like your Rise Sir Kevin's and beers like that. But you obviously lagers, Stella, San Miguel, Coors, Kronenberg, you know. I do like my beers, and personally, that's the order I put them in. Speaking of beers, do you like my little bell? Ring for a beer. There you go, ring for a beer. Right, anyways, there's not really much to say about this. It's a traditional English pale ale, not something that I really go for. Landlord comes under that category, but Landlord, for me, with Timmy Taylor's Landlord, it don't really taste like that, does it? You know, there's something about Timmy Taylor's Landlord that's just, it's better. If you can class it as a pale ale, which most pubs do, it is the best pale ale to ever grace this earth. But, you know, we're all different, aren't we? You know, like Timmy Taylor's Dark tastes like a Guinness to me. You know, we're all different. Our taste buds are all different. You might find that it doesn't. I do find that somewhere along the lines that it tastes like a Murphy's mixed with a Guinness, that Timmy Taylor's Dark. Murphy's is nice, by the way. Shout out to Sam Rowley, who introduced me to Murphy's, and Graham Rowley as well. Introduced me to that drink, so I've them to thank for it because it is nice. Can't beat it, can you? Cannot beat a landlord. Jesus Christ. Can't beat a beer, can you? Been talking about landlord for ages. That's why I'm like, yeah, landlord. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm enjoying this beer. I will enjoy it. Even though I don't really like pale ales. I don't mind them, like I say. It's just out of the beer categories, like your lagers, your stouts, your bitters, your blondes, and then your pale ales. You know, I mean, the best bitter I've had is a Lancashire bitter. £3.10 at the Cemetery Hotel. You cannot beat it. It's probably gone now, but it is a nice pint. Nice pint, £3.10, cheap as chips. Lancashire bitter. of brown ale. So yeah, I'll get back to you once I finish this beer. Right, back again. Just had a little bit of a drink. Been watching a bit of Overlap on telly, so thought I'd come back to the camera. I tell you what, I think now that you got up to this point, you know what my favourite one is? And it is the blonde. I'll rank them all at the end properly. Let me finish this first, though. Nah, there's too much to spoil around, innit? Go flying everywhere I do. There you go, that's a perfect amount to swirl around. Here we go. Your men do that with wine, really, but it don't really matter, does it? Right. Pardon me. Right, so we're going to rank them. I think coming in last place, unfortunately, this one, Flying Scotsman Pale Ale. Unfortunately, just didn't really give much, you know. It's a bit bland, a bit boring. It says what it did on the tin, it did that, but not for me, you know, unfortunately. Second place, the Mallard Bitter. The first one I did, I couldn't fault it. It was perfect. It was a really nice bitter. A Yorkshire bitter as well. That is really nice. It was the same thing as that. Same thing as a Yorkshire bitter. And do you like Yorkshire bitter beer? In first place, I like the women. I like them blonde. Exactly on that. But yeah, blonde comes first. Country Mile, easy day of the week for me. Blonde's first. But yeah, those are my beer rankings, my beer reviews for the Railway Museum, and a bit of whiskey as well, a bit of Tennessee Jack Daniels. You can't beat it, can you? But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Thanks for watching.